y'all listening to y'all back with another edition of the Booster Bud podcast with my daughter Kim.
What's up, y'all? Hey, Dad.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much. I'm excited to be recording. I know you and I we talk off air, the recording a lot. So I'm hyped to see what we're gonna talk about today. You know, it's always a journey with us.
Yeah, so what you been up to?
Nothing much, really. Honestly, if I'm being honest, it's gonna sound very corny, but I've been working and reflecting. That's been my motto for the past couple of weeks.
Ain't nothing corny about that. You know what it sound corny? If you'd have told me I was doing nothing but smoking and joking.
No, but I mean, like, cannabis has been a part of the reflection, but I don't know. You know, they say once you get out of high school, life just like goes expeditiously fast. And I definitely been feeling the effects of that. I feel like I look up and I be like, dang, I've been out of high school for how long?
Now, stay right there for a second, because at 22, just 10 years ago, you were 12. Right? Just 10 years ago, you was rushing to be 10 years in the future.
No, for real. I was. I guess because when you're 12, you feel like you could just do whatever you want. And then you get to this age and you be like, you can do whatever you want, but that be coming with a lot of stuff. It costs money, time, resources, aggravation. And now you have to be, now that I'm 22, I'm starting to be very selective on what I give my energy and attention to. And that's what I'm learning. I was given.
See, everybody thinks being grown is a number, an age, a physical degree, a certain mental maturity, right? It is that. Also, with the addition of wholly being responsible for yourself,
Right.
right? So, in being wholly responsible for yourself, that's what we call independence. However, there's nobody in the world that can survive solely independently.
Right. That's very true. I just got done telling my mom, ain't nothing in history been done without a team. Like, whether that team is seen or not, that's another question. But somebody always got somebody they could lean on when times get rough, or somebody they go to learn. Like, nothing is done in isolation.
Right. The only thing that do things in isolation are one cell organisms. Right? And we aren't that.
Right.
For just the makeup of you is a tandem, is a team, is a conglomerate of many different moving parts and different pieces, right?
Right. No, that's very true. I find that, you know, obviously we boozer bud, we talk about a lot of cannabis on here, but like in real honesty, we talked about it before, the transition and using cannabis just recreationally to turn up because you with your friends, it's the thing to do, and then like using cannabis as medicine. And I've been finding that, you know, cannabis heals the body, right? But I've been talking about how it helped me to slow down, and one day I was just outside smoking. I'm just like, what do I do this all for? Like, I work really hard, but like, what am I doing this for? Like, am I just working hard because this is just what I've just been programmed to do? Like, you go to college, you get a job, you do well at that job, you work at that job really hard so people could say you're a good worker. Like, what am I doing this all for? And that's been like for the past 2 weeks, just what is it all for? And I just keep coming back to the same thing. I really just want to be peaceful and be around my family. That's just all I want, is peace and family. Like, that's what I'm finding is most important for me.
That's good because you know, coming from where we come from, a lot of us get blinded about what's important in life.
Right.
When I say coming from where we coming from, I'm talking about the trenches, the hood, the ghetto. You know, you're so used to not having and being surrounded by impoverishment that Any signs of opulence looks like success.
Right, right. And that's big. Like I had, recently just I take a lot of blunts to the face, just me on my dolo, and I just like sitting outside. I'm like, you really just want money to get the things or to create the experiences that will ultimately create the happiness. So like you really don't want money because you could be sitting on a bunch of money and be mad unhappy. Like you could be sitting on a bunch of money, you could have all the cars you want, all the houses you want, and still feel mad alone. Like
Right,
realistic,
because money only buys material things. And in all actuality, a lot of material things hold no substantiality.
right?
So although you can physically touch them, although we can see them and we experience them, they don't make who we are or what we are.
Right. And I just think that like, you know, coming from where we come from, on top of just being united with a global struggle with black people, um, I think, our people that we look up to a lot of times are celebrities. And one of the biggest things that they do is they have things that the average does not. And so I think we get lost in like, yeah, celebrities can have all the cars, all the houses, all of the fame, all of the attention, the paparazzis, but then they be going through a lot. Like they be having mental breakdowns. They don't like people in their business. They can never have a private moment. And so when I was reflecting, I'm like, I really don't want fame. Like I don't, that sounds crazy to say because I used to say that, thinking back when I was 12, I used to want to be famous and live in New York and all this other stuff, all the stuff that I had seen, on TV, the things that seemed unobtainable. But now I'm here. I'm like, I don't want fame. I just want peace and the people I love. That's what makes
I,
me
I,
happy.
I like to question you and just to think, how many people you think if you ask what does fame entail can give you a pretty good answer?
Honestly, I really think many people do not know what fame entails, because I
Huh,
feel like people, especially my age, fame just equal money. They just trying to get rich. They just want to be
right.
famous so that they can get rich. But it's like you get rich and then you stress about the fact that people trying to get you because you rich, or you stress because in order to maintain being rich, you might gotta hide certain pieces of yourself. Like I don't want to
Okay,
live like
so
that either.
so that would be like taking ibuprofen for a headache. Ibuprofen would be analogous to money. The headache would be analogous to unhappiness.
Right. Trying to fill that gap with the money, and
Right.
it's just
But
not it.
what is the catalyst for the unhappiness?
Right, right. And
Right.
I think that's the piece that I'm like, okay, obviously everybody got room to grow. I'm only 22, so hopefully, God willing, I got a lot more years left for that growth. But like ultimately, if this is where I'm building my life, I kind of sat in that reflection and was like, well, let me lay the right foundation. Like, why even head down the path of like, okay, I'm chasing to get 6 figures, and I get the 6 figures, and I'm like, dang, I still ain't got what I want. Like, let's just
Some people chase the material so much that they throw to the wayside the familial,
right,
only to then get to the finish line of attaining wealth financially and being very poor relationship wise, family wise,
right,
right? So it's the yin and yang. They filled their whole circle with yin and no yang.
right. And I tell you what I think prompted it was um anybody who know me, I could be a real recluse. Like I could not leave the house. I could not touch my phone. And I went through this. It was like a week, maybe over a week, where like I just plain I wasn't calling nobody. I wasn't texting nobody. Like if somebody called me, I'll pick up the phone. But I just detached myself from the world, and I was really just by myself. Just really, I was outside smoking, and reflecting. And then when I wasn't smoking and reflecting, I was really just trying to absorb information, reading, podcasts, and then exercising. That's all I was doing for that week. But I guess I didn't realize how that impacted the people around me until my friend, she texted me like, "Are you alive? Like, where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm good. I just need a little moment." She was like, "I was at the point where I was going to call your work phone because I know you'll pick up that work phone." And maybe an older me might have been like, "What you trying to say?" Which I still was like, "What you trying to say?" But not in a negative way, like expand on that. And she was like, "Man, you your own boss, but if you was a employer, I had to call the labor department on you. Like, you work a lot." And I'm like, dang, I claim that I'm working to see my people in a better position. And then I'm working so much that my people feel like I'm not accessible. Like
Look
it
at that catch-22, right? But that's life. So you pick and choose your battles, right? And you recognize when you go into one extreme versus the other, and you
right.
balance yourself back out.
Right, that's what it is. It's balance. Like I told you, that was my theme for the year. It's like I'm just trying to find balance. I don't think it's ever a finish line with that. I think that's like a constant quest I'll be on for the rest of my life. But I like to, keep a steady pace. Instead of like sprinting, then I gotta slow down, take a break. Like I'd rather just keep a steady pace that I can maintain throughout the years and just incrementally just get better and better at it.
Makes sense. Everybody not made to be a sprinter. Some people marathon runners, some people sprinters, right? The goal is to finish the race
Right.
in the fashion that you want to.
Right.
So if you're going to be a sprinter, you be the best sprinter. And you don't just sprint haphazardly. And just because you're a marathon runner, don't mean that it should take you 5 weeks to run a 5K. You get me?
Yeah, and it's so crazy you say that because Daddy, I was a track runner in high school, and like that analogy just makes so much sense. Because I'll be honest, anybody who knows me when I ran track, I used to run the 100 faithfully. Like I ain't doing nothing but the 100, and I was okay at it. But man, my coach kept trying to push me to do the 200, do the 200. I'm like, man, that's too much running. Like I'm used to just get in and get out, like And then one day it was nobody to fill in for the 200, and me being a team player, I'm like, I'll just suck it up. And that the 200 was my race because it gave me time to I sprint the one, of course, but I got a lot better because it gave me time to, when I popped out from around that curve, it was on. Like it's up because a lot of people couldn't endure the way that I was able to endure. So they sprint the 100 fast, but then they start fizzling out that last 100. I knew how to still sprint, but still save gas for me to still make it to the end and do that properly. So I guess I just really got to go back to what I had learned 15, 16. I guess I was 15, 16. So trying to rush to be 20 something, I wasn't picking it up.
Hold on. Let's take the lessons here because I don't know if you see it all or if I just see something that you don't. But what I hear is an example of somebody that can look from the outside in and they can see things that maybe you can't see. So where you didn't think you were in your comfort zone in the 200, the coach or whoever was instructing you in this track probably seen that you still had enough pardon me,
Mm-hmm.
endurance, energy to continue on where some people may not have had that. So they probably figured that you would be more equipped for the 200, where your burst of energy can really kick in and we can optimize what you give to the track.
Right. And
Right.
what's crazy is I low key quit track my senior year because I was tired of how to. I'm like, yo, he is just always doing too much. Like I don't know why he's doing too much. And in hindsight, I gotta apologize, Coach Ritter, like because I think he was trying to set my mind right. That's just not.
Well, no apologies needed because better late than never. And I'm pretty sure he was just trying to give a lesson.
Yeah.
So it don't matter if you picked it up in that day or if you picked it up a year later, 10 years later. The fact is the seed was planted, it germinated, and now hopefully we can see the bloom of what was planted.
Where that's what I'm learning too, is like sometimes I get hard on myself, like, dang, you missed that opportunity. But then it's like you got so much life to live, to create new opportunities, to
Yeah,
get the lesson, to you like, I guess we live in a world where everybody feel like they gotta get it, and once you get to this finish line, your job's complete. But I'm starting to find that most things, like, realistically don't always have a finish line. It is mostly about the journey. It is mostly about the growth piece of it than it is actually getting to the destination, if that makes sense. Like, some things in life, it's a constant evolution. Like, some things aren't meant to be finite.
well, it's a flower, right? Like, so when I plant the seed, it's hardly nothing. And then there's ugly things going on up under that dirt that you don't see. You got things locking into things, stabilizing so that the outside factors, the elements don't get to it,
Right.
right? And then what we see is the finished product, the rosebud.
Right.
Even when we think we see it in its earliest forms, it's pretty developed already.
This is too crazy how this is aligned, because the rose that grew from the concrete is my thing.
Yeah.
And every
So I want people to pay attention to that, right?
right.
Because even when we get a bouquet of roses, we didn't see that rose get pruned,
Right.
none of that, right? So they usually get the thorns off, all of that.
Yeah.
And what we get is the top of the rose, a little bit of the stem, minus the thorns, minus the root.
Yeah, to be honest, because if you think about it, like, looking at it, like, for what's in front of us, when you buy a bouquet of roses from the store, you just get the stem. But roses grow out of a bush. Like, you don't get like a whole rose bush when you buy a
Right,
bouquet of roses. Yeah, that is definitely true. Like, you get something that has been refined to be a finished product, but it didn't necessarily start out that way.
right. And just think about this in the form of nature. Because we give roses for a man to show his love to a woman and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the beginning of time, imagine a man running in there, no clothes, a loincloth, running up in that rose bush to get one little flower.
Right.
He cutting himself all on thorns. Of course he loves her, right? I see he come out with 12 of them. Oh, man.
Mad cuts on your arms and hands trying to deliver them.
Right? And somebody gets smart. Say, yo, man, I'll pay you some money if you go get them roses. So money going full circle is nothing but a means to the end.
It's a tool, man.
None of us want money. That
Right.
is a bartering tool. What we want is what the money gets us.
Right. And that's the piece that you got to find balance with, right? Because if you want the money to buy the car, to spin it around the projects just for people to see that you got a car, you really got to assess that you're really about to go do all of this stuff to get money just to impress other people. Like, if you put it plain and simple like that, are you about to go through all of the things you're going through for the mere fact of just stunting for other people? Like,
Wouldn't it be more impressive if I drove my own manufactured car through the hood?
that's true.
So once again, the car is only a status symbol, right?
But
When somebody see a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, it's already in a certain price range,
right.
right? But if I know that in life, all I really want is fast cars to impress people. Why wouldn't I spend my time learning how to build and manufacture a fast car? So that now I set the bar. This is how you set trends. You make something that you invented become the status symbol.
Right.
So now when I come through the hood, I ain't got somebody else's name on the back of my car. And I know exactly what I want. I just wanted the respect of my peers. And I'm quite sure, because I'm from the hood, that my peers would respect me if I came through in a nice looking car that I built myself.
Right.
They respect me so much that some may be even willing to buy one.